made it through the pre-season. So welcome to episode 1 of season the 4th of Notts County, now in the Premier League. It's been an interesting window. There's been good, there's been bad, there's been... We have been, as you might have expected, very busy in the transfer market. I was originally planning on giving myself a little break from recording for a while because I've got enough sort of saved up as it is kind of right now when I'm recording this. I think it's only 2 or 3 episodes into the championship season. So I've got myself a nice kind of little buffer. But so much has gone on, I thought I'd better record now or I'm just going to forget. Wow. Let's start with transfers. Let's look at the app. So we had 28 million, which goes really quickly. And don't look at the transfers in yet, because I spaffed over half of it on one player. There was quite a lot of outgoing that generated very little money, really. Apart from it adds up to 11. But only one of them was any good, really. Sid Nelson, one of the ones I wasn't expecting to sell, a player I thought would do just fine in the Premier League. West Ham came in for him. They came in from under his value. I think it was valued at 4.4 or something. They came in at 4. I said no. 4.5, no. 5. And at 5, I thought, you know what? I'm going to push it and see if they went to 6. And they did. They paid 6 million for him. Okay, see you, Sid. Other ones that moved out then, Joe Walsh for a couple of quid. Jordan Spence, one of our 2 right backs. Now here's the thing. Sold Jordan Spence because Fulham came in with a offer and I was already looking at a Fulham player. So I kind of swapped one for the other. And then I forgot I'd sold him. And so I sold my other right back slightly later on. Well, I'd only really had for 10 minutes. But Leeds, who went down, came in for him. So that was a slight whoopsie on my part. I meant I was then just kind of scrabbling around in order to find another right back option. So that went a bit weird. Reece Brown, you'll see there from our midfield. He's gone. Oh, they haven't registered him. Anyway, so he went to Southampton. Yeah, so that generated a few extra funds. So let's look at who's come in. Quite a bit. First thing that happened was after I said I was all right with Luke McGee, the very first scout report thing that popped up had a bit of a turnover of staff, and when you have a turnover of staff, a lot of times they recommend new players. And the very first recommendation was a brand new goalkeeper that had just been transfer listed, Paolo Gazzaniga from Tottenham. He was their backup, and he's frankly way better than Luke McGee. Way better than Luke McGee, who I do still have. But if I compare, blim. So Paolo's in the blue. Nice. Anything Luke McGee is better at is shouting and being eccentric. So I don't know, Tourette's. That's his Tourette's. But Gazzaniga is just way better at 4 stars versus 2.5. I couldn't turn that down, and I didn't turn that down. 40 grand. So Jonathan Hogg, this was one of our free transfers. He was out of contract at Huddersfield, so we signed him. I'm expecting this season to be difficult, so I knew I wanted a good, solid sort of defensive midfielder to get stuck in and throw the tackles around, and he's exactly it. Older than I normally would look for, but he'll do us for this season, probably into next. And look at that, tackling 17, teamwork rate, brilliant. So he's just going to be hurling himself around in the middle of the pitch. Great stamina, so they shouldn't be a problem. And then this one. Because Leeds went down, all their good players wanted to leave. Jack Grealish was one of them. Jack Grealish, in real life, at the moment, is at Aston Villa. That's who Leeds got him from, and he's been relegated. So he wanted out, and so I went for him. I just went for him. He wasn't transfer listed, because they weren't going to, but he was arguing for it and arguing. He was valued at like 7-8 million, but it cost me like 13 odd. So he's really, really good. He can play in something like 6 different positions all across the midfield and attacking midfield. So versatile. I've had him before in a Newcastle save, and he was excellent. Better even than his stats belied. Really, really good. Hurling himself around, really get stuck in, score some great goals. So, Jack Grealish, brilliant signing. Steven Sessegnon is our right back from Fulham. Because remember, as I said, they went down. So just as I said I would, I hunted through all their relegated teams players and started throwing in bids. And this is why they then got Jordan Spence for, ironically, more than I paid for Sessegnon. He's all about speed. All about speed. One of the quickest players around. Super, super fast. Acceleration 18 out of 20. Pace 17 out of 20. Can tackle a bit. But he's really young. He's only 21, so he's going to get better-ish with us. Our trading facilities are a bit bobbins. So he's still only valued at 500k at the moment, but I'm convinced he's going to get better. Convinced. Our next free... Oh, this was a really interesting one. So, hunting around players that are going out of contract, and a name popped up on the list. Quite a way down the list, actually. Not the highest value by any means, but a name I recognise, as will many people. Martin Odegaard. Now, a few football managers ago, this was the kind of wonder kid of it all. And even in real life, he was considered to be quite the prospect. He still sort of is. I mean, look at those yellows. Lovely. He is a high flair player. It really is. Capable of some extraordinary game-changing moments and incredible pieces of skill. But his finishing is 5. Which for a kind of an attacking midfielder is terrible. But I figured I'd take a punt. Because if he can act sort of as a playmaker for us, I'm not expecting him to score the goals, just do all the providing for them. I've never had him in Football Manager before, so really interesting to see how he gets on. I was amazed he was interested enough in signing for us. Did have to keep offering him various other things in addition to his wages. But he's got a lot of skill going on. Yeah, unpredictable attacking midfielder. That's right. But, yeah, really looking forward to seeing on what on earth he's going to do. Hopefully, good things. Worst case, if we have to sell him on, we kind of got him for free. He's only costing the wages. I thought that was really worth a punt. This was another one that our staff came up with after I got in some coach or scout or something like that. I recommended this player who was up for transfer. Where did I get him from? Empoli? Yeah, Empoli, where they were paying him something like £600 a week. And so, you know, is that what, 2,000% wage increase? I don't know. They're calling him Wonder Kid. I don't know. But he is a 18-year-old, amazingly good defender. Really, really good. It's one of the sort of signings I'll be amazed if we can keep him beyond this season, because he's going to do really well, and then everyone's going to want him. He is an absolute coup. I don't know why we weren't trumped by other clubs going in for him. We seem to be the only team that really noticed him. I mean, where at Empoli? Yeah, perhaps it's because perhaps they got relegated themselves, and so maybe other teams weren't looking at them. I don't know. Perhaps I should have looked at more of theirs. But it's an absolute steal for a cracking player. And this was why I wasn't so worried about Sid Nelson going. Nicholas Spalek. He's relatively cheap. He's our right winger. Because remember mentioning the last episode, we had none. Literally none. So I got this guy. He seems okay. He'll do a job. He's been fine in the pre-season. I would have liked slightly better crossing, but I had offer after offer for all sorts of other players just rebuffed, or I was just finding fault with them. So he'll do. George Alves is someone... Is it the left back? Yeah. So we'd already actually had our contract agreed from him a while ago. I think I've even shown him on camera before. So we were just waiting until the end of the season before he joined us, and he did. So he's going to be our other left back, along with Miles Kenlock. Fine. Decent. Young. Real. Right. Loan signings. Because I accidentally sold both of our right backs. And I wasn't... and Ryan Sessegnon was all else I had. I made sure I got another right back in on loan. This is from Tottenham, Kyle Walker-Peters. fine. He's probably better in his position than Steven Sessegnon is. He's certainly got more even stats. It's not just all about the speed. The star comparison is showing Sessegnon as better. Because as I've said before, time and time again in this game, speed matters. But he's going to give us cover there. That's fine. Took the weight off, meant I didn't need to worry about anything else. And our second loan signing was just someone to play in the middle of the pitch. And again, it's all about just kind of shoring things up. With Odegaard, especially, and Grealish, I figured that was enough kind of flair and attack. So now I wanted someone who's just going to come in and be solid and reliable. And Scott McTominay, hopefully, is that from Manchester United. And this is where, however, I forgot a rule. Because I'm obviously playing League 2, League 1, then Championship, where you can have 5 loanees. Well, you can have 5 loanees in this league. However, you can only have 2 domestic loaned players in the Premier League. So for getting Kyle and Scott, that was it. It's all my domestic loans done. And then I really struggled to be able to loan anyone else at all. Because if you're loaning from abroad, there is a rule. And that rule is, if they are 23 or younger, they are only eligible to play in your senior games if you are paying them £8,000 a week wages or more. Otherwise, they're on what's called a youth work permit, and so you can't play them. And let me skip ahead. These two, I got in, loanees from abroad. Again, just kind of covering bases, sort of defensive midfielder and attacking midfielder. He was really good, Oscar. And both of them, their wages were too low. I couldn't offer them £8,000 worth of wages because even offering them 100% of their wages, offering to pay literally everything, their starting wages were not high enough. And so I got them and then had to terminate their contracts almost immediately because they were pointless. I wouldn't have been able to play them. So that was annoying. Like really, really annoying. So we don't have any more loan players because virtually everyone in Europe that's out for loan is really young and we couldn't pay them enough. So instead, I've just had to get a bunch of kind of cheapies and frees in just to almost fill spaces on the bench because our team was threadbare after that sort of got moved out. Remember last season we had 5 lone players. And so moving those out, that's like a whole team's worth of players. So I got Luca Vido. He just came up for free. His contract expired. So he's a backup striker who turns out to look fairly reasonable. Seems all right. This guy who I've actually put straight in our reserves because I got him and then didn't think he was very good. I was just in panic mode at this point because of those other 2 that I knew I had to send back. Then Izzy Brown is kind of covering the attacking midfield, so like kind of a replacement for Odegaard really and a sub for him. He might be all right, you know. Again, I thought he might just kind of go straight into the reserves and he'll still probably play with them to keep some fitness up. But considering he was free, his value pinged straight into being at 7.5 million. So if I can play him enough so his value doesn't drop and then maybe sell him on later, that could be quite good. And then literally just before recording this, it was the end of the transfer window, and this chap popped up. Watford were bidding for him, and so I bid for him as well and offered him loads more wages. I'm not quite sure how many games he's going to get because I didn't need cover in this position. I was quite happy. I just couldn't turn the opportunity down. He's another Portuguese youth player. He was on my shortlist back from when I found Jorge Alves. I must have scouted the Portuguese youth team or something at some point. And so for £500,000, value is now 3 times that, he's got real good potential, both in the middle and potentially his attacking. His dribbling is not so great, but his kind of team stats, his mental stats are really, really solid. So again, if we can hold on to him and, you never know, maybe actually develop him, it's a thing we should be able to do now we're in the Premier League, as long as we can stay here and start improving all our training facilities. He might turn out, to be quite the steal. Anything else to say? We generally look at the league as a whole. The transfers in the big Premier League. I mean, there's been some huge ones around. Moise Kean has gone from Juventus to Man City is the big one. He's just such a good player. Don't look forward to playing Man City at all. They're going to absolutely destroy us. Jadon Sancho finally pulled the trigger on his move from Borussia Dortmund to Manchester United. I've owned him before in this game, and he's amazing. He looks, God, better now than ever when I owned him before. Man City get another right back. They've sold Everton. Ruben Neves has gone to Chelsea. Kanji's gone from Dortmund to Liverpool. He's not a player I recognise. He's a defender. Yeah. That's a lot of big money moves. We're nowhere near the top. Where would our Jack Grealish be? Somewhere down here. There he is. So, we do feature on the page. There's old Jack. He's a dapper lad, isn't he? We kick off. Our pre-season, I should say, started fucking terribly. Oh my God. We got thumped by Doncaster. We had no match finish at this point, though. Several players were still out or on international duty. And then the rest of it, there's not much to read into any of these results, really. Easy, nothing teams played purely for match fitness. We're starting off, fortunately, against Norwich, one of the other teams that got promoted with us. So it's about as gentle an opening as we could hope for. Even Brighton is the next game as well. It's quite a kind one. We're probably only going to play Norwich today. We're doing lots of talking. Again, we're favourites for relegation, as we always would be, because we've just come up. But I don't think... Oh God, 901. But, I do think we'll be all right. Much like I think every season when you get promoted as a human player in the game, you're always made sort of favourite for relegation. And yet, actually, the advantages of being the human player against the AI are quite significant. So I do think we'll be fine. Maybe mid-table? It depends how well some of our new signings go. Odegaard particularly, because we've changed formation again. I'm not playing two up front. In fact, I'm changing formation purely because of Odegaard, because he's an attacking midfielder, and it's not a position I play with a lot, so we didn't have anyone in it at all. So instead of 4-4-2 with the attacking wingers, it's now a 4-2-3-1. So we've got, there's our back four, same, fine, normal. There's Hogg going to be there, as a ball-winning midfielder, with Grealish next to him as a Mazzala, so a roaming attacking midfielder. He's going to be kind of our second biggest attacking threat, optimistically, outside of the striker, with Hogg just holding in the centre. There's Odegaard ahead of them as the playmaker, because look at all those yellows. All the key stats for the playmaker, and if he's passing the ball to others, his terrible finishing shouldn't matter so much. We thought Kent was bad as his finishing last season. You wait till I start shouting at Odegaard. With Müller and Spalek on the wings, fine wing positions as were last season. And then that means we've just got one up front, which is by default going to be Tony Martinez. And we'll see how it goes. He's not very quick. That might be a problem for us this season. But our wingers are decent in terms of speed. So that should... he's not so great. Yeah, Spalek was the biggest of all my signings, really. But the problem there was, because I had those two domestic loans before I realised the domestic loan rule, what I probably would have done is not get McTominay, and I'd have got another right winger instead. Hey-ho. I did try for Harry Wilson from Liverpool first, as I always do, but he wasn't interested. And our second team, therefore, looks... Blim. When we're rotating, that's all I cover in all our various positions. So there's McTominay and Pereira in the middle. That Izzy Brown's the attacking midfielder. There's Mavididi as the right winger, because we've got Vido, our new Italian, up front. So reasonable cover. But again, mostly it's all going to be about the first team. We have practiced some other positions. So there's a 2 up front for if I'm feeling, I don't know, particularly ambitious. And we've also got, if things have gone terribly, terribly badly, we'll sink, instead of the attacking midfielder, we'll have a defensive midfielder. But by default, I'm going to play as this one, 4-2-3-1, certainly today, and again against Brighton. This is what I've been playing throughout our warm-up games. I kind of strip back a lot of the individual instructions because I want to see how it goes first and see what our coaches start recommending, because the teams that we've played so far, there haven't really been any challenge. It wouldn't be right to kind of draw any inference from them. God, wish me luck. Norwich. How hard can it be? Oh, there's not a lot of pictures. Martin Odegaard doesn't get a picture? Jeez, that's harsh. Do it for the fans. I mean, do it for your money. Oh yeah, Hog's wages. I got him on something, it was only like 15, 20 grand. But I didn't realise, in amidst his kind of contract strip, was a clause that he always had to be, or therefore match, the highest earning player at the club. So then when I got Grealish on something like, was it Grealish? Someone else on 51,000, Hog's wages went up from 20 to match that 51,000. Oh, that took a chunk away from the transfer budget. Right, oh look, they're playing the same formation as us. Can't be all that bad then. We're going fine. We're not losing. 38 games, 1 point each, 38 points. Might be enough to keep us up. 20 minutes in. Diddly squat happening. Do I recognise any player names from their team? Not really. Sheffy Ojo, okay. Shay, that's it, Shay. Twanarza, they must have bought him from Burnley at some point. Can't remember. Wow, literally nothing is happening. I've got highlights turned on. Yep. It's just a terrible game where nothing occurs. Anything? Anything at all. We're looking alright, so I might go positive in the second half. You never know, perhaps something... Oh, I can't do it from here. Perhaps something will actually happen. Come on. I want to see how it all plays and works. Need things to think about. Highlights. Right, positive. Here we go. Here we don't go. Anything at all. Anyone to do anything. Preferably us rather than them. Anyone at all. Whenever you're ready. We've had 2 half chances. Could have been highlights. Odegaard with a 6.3. Alright, let's try attacking. Encourage someone. Oh my god. Let's put you on. And Mavididi. Could do Pereira instead of Odegaard, I suppose. Not his best position though. Something like that. Yeah. Go. Oh. Drat. Their highlight. Well, blocked by whoever that is on the left. Sessignon it would be. Oh! Weak header. It's got to be more than that. Come on, guys. Their free kick. Gazaniga gets a hand to it. And they're offside. Okay. I'll just flick back to positive. Come on, guys. Push forwards. Something. I just want to see us have a shot. Oh, no, not again. Almost carbon copy of the last one. Hoofed clear by Sessignon. Well. I mean... anything? Anyone at all? Alright, there, free kick out. Free kick, goal kick. So, not a single highlight's gone our way. Oh, come on, guys. Right. Mavididi. Back to Sessignon. Making use of his speed there by staying fixed at the back and just passing the ball away. Grealish knocks it forwards. There's Vido on the break. Hoof! And a go! I just needed to lift it over the keeper. Didn't quite manage it. First clear-cut chance of the game. Oh, blimey. They brought it right back quickly, though. Throw into them. That Zuba fella on the left. Right. Well, lads. Whistle's going to go any minute now. There's hardly been any cards. Can't believe there's that much stoppage time. Keeping them at distance. And Gazaniga comfortably. There it is. Oh, that was rubbish. Very sorry, everyone, that had to sit through that. I mean, technically, it's a clean sheet. It's all helping everyone kind of bond together. Yeah, a bit disappointed we didn't see wonders from Overdegaard there, you know, opening up the play. But I suppose everyone's still kind of learning to work together. So I'll give them a little bit benefit of the doubt. You know, could have been worse. Okay. Well, fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That was all right. It's all right. Yeah. Lots of see if you can actually speak English. Lots of debuts. Lots of players still finding the way. Yes, you can speak English. Thank goodness for that. So yeah, it shouldn't be. Wants the team to win a trophy by the end of the season. Does he think we're someone else? Okay. Anyway, that's not the worst way we could have kicked off. It's all right. We haven't been embarrassed. What's Jack Grealish thinking? No, they're all happy. They're all reacting well. Yeah, it's all good. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah, positive. You're frowny upside downy. Okay. Right. Thanks for coming back, if indeed you did. This could be an interesting season. Let's see where we might pop back. Maybe for Newcastle and the Unknown Carabao Cup second round, because I'm hoping that'll be a lower league team where we can breathe out a bit and hopefully actually win a game. Because Brighton might be just like the Norwich game. Arsenal should absolutely destroy us. Newcastle are probably quite good in this by now. Yeah, that's not a bad team. Michy Batshuayi, Kasper Dolberg. God, he's usually really good. So, yeah, they're probably going to thump us. Yeah, so maybe it'd be the Newcastle and the Carabao, or the Carabao and Cardiff. I'll see which way around I do it. Might do a few more games this season on camera than the last ones. The fixtures tend not to be quite so heavy whilst you're not good enough to get stuck into cup runs. There's simply not as many games to have to get through, so we get a bit more break between them, which is good for the legs of our first team. Yeah, I think Newcastle and Unknown is probably what we'll do. Right. Looking forward to this. Hope you are. Look for my F8 key. That's one that stops recording. There I go. I'll put it somewhere that's not completely obscured by my microphone. Right. Thanks much, you folks. See you next time. Toodaloo.